How's it going, everybody? This is Red, and I'm from Sound Valley Studios, welcoming you to the first episode of the Valley Rising podcast series. Here at Sound Valley Studios, we have been working with a ton of independent underground artists, and we want to bring some light to those around the valley who are up and coming, rising, and headed toward fame. A lot of these artists have been putting in tremendous amount of work here at Sound Valley Studios, and without further ado, we'd like to introduce our very next special guest. Day Day is our next artist joining the show. And Day Day, I want to start out with a few questions for you. That way we can kind of introduce yourself a little bit to the audience and tell a little bit of Arizona about who you are and what's to come. So the first thing I want to know, Day Day, is can you tell us a little bit about yourself and where you come from?
Well, I was born in Germany.
Okay.
My father was in the Army, so I'm a military brat. I come from Kentucky.
What part of Kentucky are you from?
Radcliffe, Kentucky.
Radcliffe, Kentucky, okay.
Basically, I was born in Germany, moved to Kentucky around probably 1988, and then moved to Kentucky, Radcliffe, Kentucky. Pretty much spent my middle school, high school, all the years there.
How long were you in Kentucky until you came to Arizona? Or how old were you when you came out here?
I came to Arizona probably about 2012.
2012.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so you've been here over 10 years.
Yes, sir.
And have you been making music that whole time here in Arizona?
I have been. I've been making music, probably like recording myself, probably since 2009.
That's
I've been
awesome.
recording, yeah, and I've been recording since I got out here. But I didn't actually make like a music video probably until 2019.
Okay. What if you had to give me your earliest memory or your earliest connection with music, what would that be, or kind of what got you into this?
I think just as a kid growing up in my household, like we always played music, like my parents always played music. I remember like making trips during the summertime to go visit our grandparents out in Colorado. When Snoop Dogg came out,
Oh, that's dope.
the whole trip. Snoop Dogg, it was like my mom would play the rap and my dad would play the R&B, the Curtis Mayfields and all that. So it was like
awesome.
back and forth. But yeah, like I always been into music. I think probably in high school, probably my freshman year is probably when I really got into writing music.
That's cool.
Yeah, I had a friend named Antoine. He always wrote bars. And I was kind of like the shy kid, so I didn't let anybody know that I actually rap, but I did it kind of on the side. So during the class, he would write bars, I write bars, and at the end of class, we would compare bars.
What about your like musical influences? Was there, anybody, you mentioned a couple names that your parents are playing, anybody particular that you kind of struck a liking to and influenced you growing up?
I think mostly in high school, I think it was the days, I'm from the South, so it was No Limit,
Okay.
Cash Money, the Rough Riders movement.
That's
Then,
what's
but now, all throughout, ever since Fabulous came out, like Fabulous is definitely my number one.
Your go-to?
Yes, sir.
If you didn't get into music, or if you weren't doing this now, what do you think you would be doing instead?
I think I always had a liking to like counseling.
Okay, that's cool.
I've always tried to be like a mentor to anybody that, was looking for a path in life, was lost, and I always try to pick somebody up. I always look to be positive in somebody's life.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. The next category of questions that I want to go over, it kind of talks about your music and your musical journey. And so one thing I'm wondering is what was the trigger, or what was that inspiring moment, or something that caused you to say, you know what, I want to pursue music and that's something that I want to do with my life. What was that for you?
I think it's just always been an outlet for me in life. I'm more of a reserved, private person, so I think I express better through writing music. So I think at an early age I realized in order for me to express myself, it was through music. And once I started recording, probably in 2005, I think I just never looked back.
If you had to describe your style or your sound to somebody who's never, ever heard you before, kind of talking about your own music, what would that be, or how would you describe that to somebody?
I think just more versatile. I don't really put myself in a box. I like to reach all avenues, all genres. I don't like to just stick in one lane.
Would you say that all the songs you do are written by yourself, or do
Yes,
you
sir.
collaborate or have a team, or how do you approach that process?
I think in order to be authentic, it has to come from yourself. Everything I've ever recorded came from myself, and anything anybody sent me and I collaborated with, I did my own writing.
What is your process? Talk to the audience a little bit about how you go from idea maybe to actually writing a song. You know, do you do the beat first? Are you writing lyrics first? What's your process, and how do you kind of make that?
I think it starts with the beat. I think for me, genuinely, like if I feel a beat and like it speaks to my soul, like I just like, man, I feel that. I think everything else just follows suit. Like everything else comes authentic and genuine. And I think once you get like those first 4 bars down, I think everything else just flows.
Flows after that.
Yes, sir.
What was the first song or project you ever released? Looking back, and how do you feel about that now?
The first one that we ever did on YouTube was called Rocket Ships.
Okay.
I had a boy called Jay Architect. He's out here in Phoenix. It was I liked it. I liked it a lot. That was the first time I ever recorded.
Still
And,
vibing to it today?
And then the track that I just did, like I'm looking at the views now, the views I did just now for my recent track already surpassed the one
Isn't
that we
that
did then.
funny?
Yeah, and that was 9 years ago. So
It's
yeah.
funny to see that growth in music and see, you know, from where I started at, you know, whether it be 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago,
Right.
And to see how artists evolve. That's something that we love here at Sound Valley, is trying to give people a platform to
Right.
do that and to help independence grow. So
It is very hard for me to listen to old music. I don't know why, but
Yeah.
it's like once I record something, I probably listen to it for a month, and then it's like I
and then
just
it's
move on.
move on to the next one. The next category of questions we want to talk about is kind of behind the scenes, a little bit of insight into maybe the things that the audience or the general public don't see in the music world. So can you walk us through a little bit your creative process from idea to a completed finished track? I know you talked a little bit about your songwriting, but what does that look like for you all the way through to see it towards getting released?
Yeah, so like this most recent track, like every year we have a annual celebration for a friend that passed away back in 2005.
Okay.
I just happened to be in the gym. I was listening to a Meek Mill track called Early Mornings. I love the instrumental to it, and I was just like, man, I just want to do a remix to this. And I went searching on YouTube, couldn't find the actual instrumental because it was like 2 minutes or some change. I actually found somebody that actually remade it, and it was like 4 minutes, and I was like, that's kind of long, but that's all right. So I reached out to him, purchased the beat, started writing on a Monday, reached out to Sound Valley Studios on Monday to book the session on Wednesday because I was flying out on Thursday.
Got you.
Recorded it, wrote it on Tuesday, recorded it on Wednesday, and I only had 2 verses done. But when I got into the studio, I'm not sure the young man's name, I told him it was a 2-hour session, I believe, and I said, just give me like an hour, man. I got to write this last verse.
So you finished it in studio then, off the top of the dome.
Yeah, in 30 minutes. That's when I did the 3rd verse.
That's amazing.
And we finished it, and it just came out as a great product.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. What in that process, what is your favorite part of that music making, or the whole thing in general, whether it be videos, promotions, performing in the studio? What kind of is that favorite part of that project for you?
I think the recording part, just actually putting it all on paper and then actually getting into the studio, getting a vibe, hearing how it comes out, hearing, and then playing it back and then listening to it and just see everything come together. I think I like that part the most.
Have you really faced any challenges or had any hardships trying to break through in the music industry? And how does one, especially from an independent standpoint, handle that?
I think for me, like, I think with me being versatile and just always being like all over the place, not in one lane, I think with the music scene now, I think, I don't know, I don't know, like I don't find myself in a place with the music scene now. So honestly, I just listen to my own music and kind of just vibe out to my music. Trying to get out there, I haven't really tried that yet. I just network and whoever I come across, make music with,
For sure.
you know, with certain artists. But
If you had like a dream collaboration, like a famous artist or somebody you had a dream to work with, who would that be?
it's gotta be Fabulous.
That'd be dope.
Fabulous.
Try to get them on track.
Fabulous. Yeah.
Fabulous. If you're out there and you happen to see this episode, hit up my man's Day. He got the fire.
I mean, you gotta think about Fabulous, man. Longevity.
Absolutely.
Man, he's been doing it for a long time, man. Yeah.
What's one thing that you don't think the general public or the audience knows about independent artists and what it's like to be not signed to a record label and trying to do this kind of thing?
I think it's definitely hard. It's gonna take definitely a lot of groundwork. I think you just gotta have a lot of passion and believe in what you're doing. And if that's really what you want to pursue, you gotta just keep going for it.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump into the next section of questions here, and this one we're going to call the present and the future.
Okay.
So what is your latest release about, and what is the inspiration behind it?
Right. So my latest project is called Early Mornings. It's a remix of a Meek Mill song. The inspiration behind it was basically I had a friend that passed away back in 2005, and annually back in Radcliffe, there's a celebration. We come together, and I just, from whatever one day before the celebration, I was in my feelings. I had a moment, and like I said, I heard that beat, and I recorded it, and that was pretty much the inspiration behind it, and kind of just solidify the city, bring the city together, and just have a moment.
Do you have any other projects right now you're working on, or something in the future upcoming that you can give us some hints about?
Yeah, I definitely have. I'm working on 2 more tracks.
Nice.
One is called If I Die Tonight,
Okay.
and then another one's called If You Know, You Know.
Where do you see yourself as an artist in the next 5 years?
Just really just staying in my own lane and just keep doing what I do, stay authentic, and I'm sure there's people that I can collaborate with that I'm sure I'll run across and just keep making music.
With that said, what do you want your audience or people listening your music to feel or to gravitate towards when they're listening?
Authentic, raw. What you see is what you get. I come from a blue-collar city, hardworking, and just positivity. Honestly.
I love that. If you could give advice to any of your other fellow independent artists or people trying to make it or people just starting out, what would that advice be?
Keep grinding. Again, just believe in yourself. You have a lot of tools and a lot of resources nowadays, social media, network. I always believe, you got to network to raise your net worth.
I love that. The last section of questions that we are going to go over now is just a little bit about a personal and fun touch.
Okay.
So I'm wondering, what is one unexpected song that I would find on your playlist right now? It doesn't have to be yours.
Mm-hmm.
You got any of that new T Swift on there?
Cactus Boys.
Oh, nice. We've actually had Cactus Boys in at Sound Valley. And
Yeah,
worked with them.
I like them. They're doing their thing right now, man.
Yes, they are.
They're pushing a positive movement.
Yes, they are.
Here in Phoenix. Keep doing your thing, man.
Yeah, that's a good group right there.
I was
They've got
listening
some
to them
fire
on the
tracks.
way coming here for sure.
I love to see other independent artists, especially here in the Valley, supporting other independents. And
Exactly.
I know there's kind of a culture that's around some of the hip hop and some of the shows that go on and the entertainment companies that put them on. And
Right.
what I love to see, though, is ultimately that there's people trying.
Right.
And anytime that there's people that are given a platform or given an opportunity or trying to provide a space, to me, that shows growth of the city.
Right.
And without that kind of growth, there's no way for the city to move forward.
Right.
And so we love hearing independents like you going to shows and supporting local, just as much as we love the national acts coming through as well.
Exactly. That's the way to go, man. Is just network.
If you had to put a theme song to your life, what would it be today?
That's a tough one.
That's a tough one, ain't it? Maybe something about hustling or grinding all day, or I don't know. I feel like you're kind of a work hard, play hard kind of guy. So
I like. I'm not gonna lie. I like. I'll just throw it out there. Turk.
okay, that's what's
Turk's
up.
got that new song called "You Too."
Yep,
So
put that on as the
that's what
theme
I
song
just
for
heard
right
coming.
now.
Yeah.
I like it. What is your pre-show ritual, or what's one thing that you do as an artist before you ever perform, or do you have one?
I definitely gotta get in my zone. Like I'm like I said, a private person, so I like to be in my own space. I like the lights dim. I like, I might have a glass of Henny or something.
Yep, something like that. Yeah, get you ready.
Yeah. Like that's it, really.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully, here coming up in the future, we're gonna have some more opportunities and maybe start seeing you out there a little bit more and
Yes, sir.
get your videos that we just shot. Shout out Sound Valley on the videos and our team and Mainflix in particular. Go check that out on YouTube. But the last thing I wanted to ask before we wrap it up is where can people find you and follow you to get your music?
Yeah, you can follow me at Day40160 on Instagram. That's DAYDAY 40160.
That's awesome. Well, hey, man, I thank you a bunch. I really, really appreciate you coming on the Valley Rising episodes. And more to come from Day Day.
Yes, sir.
Much
I
love,
appreciate y'all.
everybody. Thank you.